welcome to my channel. I'm Mandi, author of 10 young adult novels so far. Welcome to week 2 of the Taper Caper. I am on the floor because I was already filming down here, and I do not feel like moving in order to do the intro, so this is what you get. If you don't know what the Taper Caper is, I have a video explaining it, and then I also have a week 1 of the Taper Caper. Go watch those. But anyway, basically it's just a writing challenge in my writing community. And this week, the challenge, because I'm doing the day count, is to write 4 days. It's Tuesday, and I didn't write yesterday, but I did write today, which you get to see footage of now, I guess. Guys, I'm on a prickle right now, because I do that these days. I'm on a prickle, and I finished the last portion of Cindy's story. I took the 2 scenes that were left, which were 2 completely different scenes. In the original, they were in very different places, but I merged them together into one thing. So all of the Cindy portion of the story, just squished it together, made it a scene, and then that was the end. That's all we get to see of Cindy. And now we've moved on to the very last part of the book. We've moved on to Cassie's cliffhanger. So I have this tiny bit, just that. I have just that to write and fix for Cassie's book. Used to be chapter 15, which I just fixed to 25, and now I have to go through it and make it much more beautiful than it currently is. And then I'm done with the first draft. I might finish this today. I kind of might just sit here until I'm actually done. Nobody freak out. But we wrote the end. We did it. We got there. It's done. Wow. Hi. We did the thing. So Cassie's ow, my back just popped. Cassie's ending scene. Fantastic. Cassie's the best. Anyway, that was super fun and really easy to write. There's a lot in Hope's story that needs help in adjusting the plot, the stakes. It needs help. Cassie's part of the story probably doesn't need much help at all. We'll see when I get to those chapters again during revisions, but Cassie's basically perfect. She can do no wrong. So yeah, that last scene that was all Cassie was a lot of fun. It's one of my favorites. It starts, well, spoilers. Never mind. It starts a fun arc. Yeah. It's only Tuesday, you guys. This is the first day that I've been writing this week for the Taper Caper. What am I gonna do for the other 3 days this week? I'm going to read is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start from the beginning of the story, and I'm going to read. Wow. Wow. This has been a long time coming. Now I have a Taylor Swift song in my head. But seriously. When did I start this draft? Like 2023? Dang. Is that right? I don't know. 2022 was all Robin Hood. 2023 at the beginning was Isolated. But when did I start this draft? I don't think it took me too long to write Isolated initially. I don't know. It's been a long time, is all I'm saying. And it wasn't super fun most of that time, because the story is just kind of a hot mess. And then also I was just personally not in a great place, mentally and creatively. So the writing was slow and painful. But we got there, and we're done with the first draft hybrid thing. That's crazy. I'm just kind of floored that happened. I wrote almost 2,000 words, you guys. I didn't count the epilogue, because it's basically a copy-paste of the prologue. I did count the words that I added to the epilogue, because there are some changes in the epilogue, now that you've read the story, and you have more context, and then I can actually tell you the things I was hinting about in the prologue, and I can just come out right and say them in the epilogue. So I did add some words, and I counted those words, but I didn't count, like, the copy-paste words of the epilogue, because I didn't write those today. Anyway, but I wrote almost 2,000 words, you guys. I'm back! Except now I'm just gonna be reading and not drafting at all. So that's a little bit sad to like have my first writing, because last week it was like slow and steady, which I loved because we were writing. But to have my first day where it's like, oh dang, this is me, this is how I used to write. And now it's like, well, now I don't get to draft anymore for a while. That's disappointing. But it'll be good. I do actually enjoy the revision process as well. But drafting's my favorite part of the writing process, so oh well. I got it all out in one fell swoop today, and now we get to read and revise. But we're going to make this story into something magical. Through the rest of the taper caper, we'll see how far we can go. I've already polished, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 chapters in the beginning that I was sending to my critique partner earlier this year and part of last year. So some of them might not need a lot of help already, you know? Like, I'll go over those chapters again after I read through the whole story. I'll go over them again and see if there's more that I can help with. You know, I'm not going to skip them. But I do think those will be pretty fast because I've already added them to the 2.0 document. And then once I get past that, it might be a slower process for the other chapters in the middle. But we'll see. I don't think I'll finish revisions, is what I'm trying to say. I don't think I'll finish revisions in November, but I'm curious to see how far I can go. Because apparently now I'm on a roll. I also put together the week 1 vlog today, and that's basically it. That's what I've spent the afternoon doing. I was doing the vlog edits and uploading, and then writing 2,000 words. I'm just realizing that I was making tea, and I left that downstairs 2 hours ago before I started writing. That's fine. I'll go make tea now. I think that's all the writing I'm doing today. That was a lot of writing. And I'm going to transition into other productive things. I have a book I need to read, like a devotional book that I need to catch up on for my other job at the preschool. Because tomorrow's our faculty meeting and we'll do the devotion, and I haven't read it, so I need to do that, and I'm going to do that. It's not really part of the taper caper, but I'm telling you about it anyway. And then I guess tomorrow we start reading Cindy's book from the beginning. Whoa. Crazy times. Stats for you, since we finished a book. She's sitting at 76,000 words, almost 77,000 words. The original story was, let me see if I can find that. The original story was like 30, maybe? Hold on, let me see. 45? I have no idea. 37! The original one had 37,000 words, and now we have 76,900, which is almost 77. Just a little bigger. Just a tiny bit bigger on the first draft. And will continue to grow because I am an underwriter, and so my scenes tend to not have description and action beats and setting until I come back and revise them. That's fantastic. I love this. It's still smaller than the Robin Hood books. That's a good size. That is just a nice sized book. More fun with the stats and things. We're going from 139 words to, hold on a second, see if I can do this one-handed. That's what teeth are for. Let's see. Dang. That was quite the jump. Boop. That break in the middle was just my brain firing up to do something crazy. Let's see. I don't know that I have stickers that will make sense for the reading portion. I have chapters edited for when I'm doing revisions, but I don't think I have anything specific for like pages read. Do I? I don't think so. Word count, word count, word count, chapters edited, and that's it. We might just use the chapters edited and and call it good. You know, I'll just erase it and say pages red or something. Hello, friends. So, yesterday, massive writing day. Today, I guess we're gonna read. I don't have a ton of time before my Bible study, because my day job went long, and then had to do other things today, like laundry. Anyway, so I'm kind of low energy and have limited time, and I don't expect to get much done right now, currently. But I kind of want to get started on reading Cindy's book. I was really excited yesterday, and today I'm just kind of like, okay. Which is disappointing. But it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna read at least a chapter, hopefully more, and try and get a big picture on what needs fixed and changed and where the story is weak. Which is probably a lot of places, to be fair. But we're gonna get like an accurate picture of it. I am wondering if I should read like straight out of the first draft document, chapters 1 moving forward, or if I should read the critique partnered, polished up 1 through, I don't know, like 8 or something. I don't remember how many I'd sent to my critique partner. That was months ago. But is that what I read? I mean, it doesn't go very far. The 2.0 does not go very far. And then I would jump back over to the first draft hybrid thing. To get an accurate picture of what I've written. Or do I read just the first draft hybrid thing? Because that will inform, like, the overall changes I need to make. And maybe those changes are different than what I did in the critique partnered version. Because in the critique partner, like what I was sending my critique partner early this year and last year, I think. I was just like reading 1 chapter at the beginning of Cindy's and polishing it and sending it to her. Because she finished, we went through all of Isolation together. And so then I started sending her the next book, but I wasn't really done writing the next book, so I hadn't done the read the whole thing situation. To give myself a game plan for rewrites and edits. So without a game plan, I was just like, well, it's time to send her a chapter. I'll read a chapter, I'll polish it, I'll send it to her. And I did, I mean, some changes were being made in that polishing, but it wasn't like, there wasn't a plan to it, is the point. Maybe I'll read both. Will that be unhelpful if I read like chapter 1 here and chapter 1 there, and then chapter 2 and 2? It does move, because I think at one point I had a chapter in the first draft hybrid thing that became 2 chapters when I sent it to my critique partner. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I'll read the critique partner stuff, because it's only like 5 to 10 chapters, I don't remember. And then I'll read from the beginning, chapter 1, with the other thing. I'll just read it all. I'll read it all and have information in my head that can percolate. And then I'll make a game plan. I'm so glad that I took you on that journey. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, so here we are in the courage portion of my Finding Hope trilogy thing. Whoops. I've lost all sense of direction. Hello? Okay. We're back. Anyway. For a second there, I completely forgot what I was doing and why and how buttons work. Anyway, okay. So we have this first draft hybrid situation, which we just finished. It's like 79,000 words. And then we have the 2.0, which is less than that. 7 chapters? 7 chapters. So the problem that I was discussing was like whether I read these polished versions of these 7 chapters or I only read the old 7 chapters, if that makes sense. Except I think it'd be like 6 because one of them split. Anyway, but I've decided to read both. I am going to start with this and like read what I sent her and then go back to the beginning and read all 25 chapters. Yeah, not today. I mean, I'm going to read at least some of this today, but I'm not getting through all that. I have 15 minutes before I have somewhere to be. I timed this well. Hey, little buddy. Are we being productive? Okay, so it's Friday. I'm finishing up day 4 of the 4 days that I needed to do, working in my story for the Taper Caper. And this week has mostly been reading. So Tuesday, I wrote a lot, which was very exciting. Finished the first draft, hybrid thing, which was very exciting. And then I immediately rolled into just reading the book. And I haven't been reading a lot every day, but I've been reading little portions. I'm up to chapter 3. I've gone through the prologue and the first 2 chapters. And I don't know how I feel yet, but it's okay. It's kind of a slow start, and I feel like so far my impression is that I really need to up the stakes in chapter 1, and just have more. Oliver, that's not a toy, that's my camera. More stress from Cindy. More despair, more panic, more questioning where she is and what is happening and all of that. Anyway, she's a little too chill in chapter 1. And then in chapter 2, she's stressed. But she needs to be stressed the whole time. Anyway, that's my initial impression so far of I'm reading the polished chapters that I sent to my critique partner early this year and last year. So it's gonna be even worse when I go and read like the actual first draft part. But anyway, it's been good so far. I think it's a decent opening. It's weird because book 1, Isolation, Cassie's book, is very fast paced, and Cassie is very like matter of fact and like, this is what's happening right now. This is the only thing we care about because it's what's happening right now. And also, it was a more intense, fast-paced story in the terms of like the enemies showing up quickly and then things happening every single scene with the enemies and with what Cassie was trying to figure out and like whatever. Anyway, Isolation is just like whoop, one giant fast-paced story. And by giant I mean small. It's very small. Anyway, and Cindy's book is a different vibe. It's slower paced for sure, which it just has a heavier focus on like emotional stakes instead of like the external like actual crazy things happening with lobsters. If you haven't read Isolation, don't question it. The lobsters are taking over, okay? But anyway, that probably sounds so crazy. Anyway, yes, there are lobsters taking over in Cindy's book, but they're fewer and farther between. Towards the end of the book, it ramps up and we run into them more. But at the beginning, we don't see them, and it's much more focused on the emotional stakes. And then in the middle, we split with Cassie, and Cassie is on a journey that involves lobsters, and Cindy is on a journey that they're just like a background threat, and it's not like actively what's in front of her, because her stakes are the emotional stakes. Anyway, all of that to say, I think chapter 1 needs to have more of the emotional stakes in it, is what I'm getting at. And then also just like, I don't know, trying to, even though it's a slower paced story and it's a different vibe entirely, partially because Cindy's the narrator, and also partially because the story's it's just slower paced. There's less external things happening. Anyway, all of that leads it to be, I don't want to say boring. I don't want it to be boring. I'm hoping it's still interesting and well worth reading. But it's not the same kind of read as Isolation, which makes it difficult, because I don't want to disappoint readers who are like hooked on Cassie's story, and then they get to book 2 and they're like, this is slow. Listen, Cassie has, you know, a large chunk of the chapters, okay? You still get some fun Cassie things eventually. Anyway, I don't know. That's where we're at. That's week 2 of the Taper Caper. Next week, I only have to be in the story 3 times. I'll probably do more than that, just because I'm enjoying being in the story as much as I am. Like, being able to write as much as I have in November has been so fun and so refreshing. So, I will probably do more than 3, but, like, 3 is the goal, because we're tapering here. Yeah. I think this was a good week. I mean, I finished the whole novel, so it was a fantastic week. But that was several days ago, so I'm sort of like, I've distanced myself from the excitement that happened when I finished and wrote those 2,000 words. And then I remember, I'm like, oh, did that happen this week? Man, that feels like so long ago, but that was really exciting, and it was this week. Oh, hi. What's up, dude? You getting cozy? Cutie pie. Anyway. That's it.